Greenland is a fascinating and unusual place. It's an enormous landmass, yet home to a tiny population and a similarly small economy, primarily reliant on fishing and financial support from Denmark. If Greenland weren't situated on a massive remote island, its economy would resemble that of a small village. In fact, many zip codes in the US have more people and generate greater economic activity than the entire country. Unlike Iceland, another North Atlantic nation it's often mistaken for, Greenland is not exceptionally wealthy, with a GDP per capita only half that of Iceland, despite some apparent similarities. Without substantial financial aid from external sources, Greenland wouldn't just struggle economically, it would struggle to sustain itself at all. Though humans have inhabited this harsh environment for thousands of years, in recent decades, many Greenlanders have opted to leave in search of better opportunities and more than just a few hours of sunlight each day. This exodus makes Greenland's future uncertain. However, the world's major powers aren't interested in Greenland because of its struggling economy. They're drawn to its untapped potential. Greenland's growing global interest recently, Greenland has been making headlines as it finds itself in the crosshairs of global superpowers, particularly the US. The reason? Potential. Whether it's its vast natural resources, strategic location, emerging trade routes, or the political legacy of controlling such a unique territory, Greenland holds immense geopolitical significance. Greenland's place in the global landscape provides valuable insights into the evolving dynamics of the modern economy. But beyond its role on the world stage, Greenland faces serious challenges in maintaining a functional domestic economy. So how does its economy operate? Why are superpowers competing for influence over it? And what does this mean for the region's future? Understanding Greenland's political and economic structure. To grasp Greenland's economic realities, it's essential first to understand what Greenland actually is. While it is considered a country, it remains part of the Kingdom of Denmark, which also includes the Faroe Islands and Denmark itself. This relationship is similar to Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland within the United Kingdom. Greenland has its own head of government, the Premier of Greenland, but Denmark's Prime Minister, currently Mette Frederiksen, oversees policies for the entire Kingdom of Denmark. Greenlanders elect their own parliament and send 2 representatives to Denmark's parliament, though Danish citizens do not vote in Greenlandic elections. Technically, Greenlanders can choose either a Danish or a Greenlandic passport, but when it comes to citizenship and movement within the European Union, they are still considered Danish. A small economy with a big reliance on Denmark. Greenland's economy is remarkably small, with a population of just 57,000 and a total GDP of $3.3 billion. Its largest city is little more than a small town. The country's remote and extreme environment makes it nearly impossible to develop advanced industries that wouldn't be better suited to mainland Europe or even Iceland. Despite these challenges, Greenland is classified as a high-income country, but only because of significant financial support from Denmark. In reality, its largest sector is government administration, mostly funded by transfers from Denmark. Nearly half of the workforce is employed by some level of government, making it difficult to argue that this isn't effectively rebranded welfare. Denmark also subsidizes private stores in Greenland to keep basic goods available in such an isolated location. Greenland's national airline, Air Greenland, is similarly supported, operating flights between remote settlements that might otherwise be completely cut off. Additionally, Denmark maintains control over Greenland's foreign policy and defense, covering those expenses as well. While this financial support might seem like charity, it's simply a function of governance. Many regions within developed economies receive more in government funding than they contribute in taxes. The only reason Greenland's situation stands out is because of its extreme geographical isolation. Over time, the goal is for Greenland to reduce its reliance on Danish funding by developing new industries. However, breaking this dependence is easier said than done. Building an economy capable of sustaining Greenland's population independently is an immense challenge. That is, unless something changes. Why the US wants Greenland? The renewed US interest in Greenland might seem perplexing. Why would the world's most powerful country be so eager to claim a territory that functions like a dependent child still receiving an allowance? On the surface, it doesn't seem worth risking diplomatic relationships with Denmark, a crucial EU partner and NATO ally. However, there are 2 key reasons why Greenland is so valuable. Natural resources and strategic location. 1. Natural resources. Greenland is an untapped treasure trove of valuable materials, including rare earth elements, precious metals, and even diamonds. It also holds vast reserves of oil and natural gas. However, having resources and extracting them profitably are two different things. Greenland's harsh climate, enormous distances, and tiny workforce make large-scale mining operations difficult and costly. Currently, the only active mine in the country extracts anorthosite, a mineral used in insulation, contributing little to the economy. That said, the situation is evolving. As Greenland's ice sheet retreats due to climate change, accessing these resources and building the necessary infrastructure is becoming more feasible. Still, any large-scale mining would need to be balanced with the concerns of the local population, who may not want their homeland turned into a massive mining outpost. Second, strategic location. As Arctic ice continues to melt, new shipping lanes are opening across the Arctic, reducing travel times between major economies. Russia has been aggressively positioning itself to capitalize on these routes, and the U.S. wants to ensure it has control over this emerging trade network. American military involvement in Greenland is nothing new. The Thule Air Base, established in the early 1950s, remains an essential U.S. military outpost. Originally built as an early warning system during the Cold War, it is now operated by the U.S. Space Force. Though the U.S. doesn't pay Greenland rent for this base, its presence provides a small but important economic boost. With around 600 personnel stationed there, over 1% of Greenland's population, the base provides contracting jobs and economic activity for local businesses. Greenland's future remains uncertain. It has enormous potential, but unlocking it will require overcoming extreme geographic and economic challenges. Whether it remains tied to Denmark, gains independence, or aligns more closely with the U.S., one thing is clear: this icy island will continue to be a focal point in global geopolitics for years to come.